The de Havilland DH-82 Tiger Moth, a primary trainer between the world wars, took to the skies in Colombo thanks to a dedicated team of engineers, technicians and a risk-loving pilot of the Air Force. With no manuals and experienced personnel around to teach them how to restore and fly it, these men and women had to log on to the internet to figure it out.
We search from internet. We try to download, but they are restricted. This aircraft made with wood and fabric. And aircraft is start up with the hand swing. The propeller is start up with the hand swing procedure. It's very difficult. We managed to rebuild this aircraft within 2 to 3 months with those challenges.
After much reference to manuals on the internet and orientation on ground, the Tiger Moth was restored and back in shape. But there was no pilot who could fly it. Squadron leader Prasanna Kuruvita, who flies bulky transport aircraft like the AN-32 and the mighty C-130, also known as the Hercules, was game for the task.
It was a great challenge to me actually, so I have never flown this one. And even there was no other pilots who had flown this, and I had to take the challenge completely. And the commander asked me to fly the aircraft, so it was a great challenge, and also an honor to me also, because this is a very rare chance which a pilot can get. This is a very old aircraft, flew in the World War period. So it was a great honor also. This is a tail wheel type aircraft, not the nose wheel type. And first challenge was I have never flown the tail wheels. And this is a very primitive type of aircraft which has a tail, it doesn't have a tail wheel either, but a tail dragger. So there is no steering on ground even, and it has no brakes. It has no starter motor. It has no other advanced control surfaces also, and a very limited number of instruments. So completely it was a manually fly. It is a manual type of aircraft which has to fly visually.
The challenge was not easy for squadron leader Kuruvita, as he too had to depend on the aircraft's pilot manual to learn to fly it.
I had to lift off from the runway to about 5 feet and see how the aircraft was behaving. I had to check the controls and all those things, and after that it was behaving very well and it was under control to me. Next day, after about 1 week, I managed to do a circuit at 1000 feet.
If taking off was tough, making a landing on a runway had been a greater challenge, as these vintage aircraft had been built to take off and land on grass patches during the World War period.
After landing, you have to keep the aircraft very straight, and when the aircraft slows down, if it goes to a side, there is no way for stopping. The crew on the either sides of the runway has to stop it by themselves. Other than that, I cannot control, but I managed to do a very straight in landing, and aircraft was totally under control for me.
With a successful test flight, the Air Force is now hopeful of flying this vintage aircraft on Saturdays to entertain visitors at the Air Force Museum in Ratmalana. Certainly, the pilot is game for another round.
Though the aircraft is very old, it has a very good operating condition. The aircraft is very good in its operation. The engine, the in-flight behavior, everything was fine. So I was amazed to fly this aircraft in such a condition, and I am eager to fly this aircraft. I like this a lot.
The cyclone has weakened into a depression and is affecting the weather over the northern region in the island. Frequent showers with thunder are also expected over the north. The Met Department is requesting the public in the north to listen to media releases on the weather. You can now follow Debrief on YouTube, Twitter and Facebook.